We'll call the June 11th meeting of the Caroline County Board of Supervisors to order. Let the record show that all board members are present. Mr. Black representing Western Caroline, Mr. Seeley representing Bowling Green, Mr. Underwood representing Reed Church, Mr. Akers representing Madison, Mr. Taylor Port Royal, and I'm Floyd Thomas representing the Mattaponi District. I've asked Mr. Curlings if he would do the Pledge of Allegiance, and before that, I'm going to ask Mr. Underwood if you would do the invocation for us, please, sir.
It'd be my pleasure. Can we all stand, please? Most gracious and Heavenly Father, once again, we come before you asking for your divine blessing on our meeting tonight. Asking you, Heavenly Father, to look over as we do the business of Caroline County. Asking you, Heavenly Father, for a special blessing over those who are in service, to protect and service here and abroad. All blessings, all thanks we ask in your precious name. Amen.
Amen. Mr. Curlings?
Join me in a pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. And Mr. Cully, we have, I should have rebooted first. Addendum.
We don't have any amendments to the agenda at this time.
I wanted to add agenda item 11A, which is, I believe, oh, great, I'm sorry. Agenda item 11A, which will be a review of the budget numbers we got last meeting as far as spending for the end of the year, April, May, and also Mr. Cully has gotten us enrollment numbers from the schools, so we can add those two together. He has those, and we'll pass those out when we get to that. And I think you all have the printout for printouts. Okay, then I've got them. I've got printouts, so when we get to 11, I will pass those out. I think that was the only thing I wanted to add. Opening board comments, Mr. Black.
Yeah, I've got a couple. First of all, on Saturday, I'd like to congratulate the citizens of Lake Landor, especially Beverly Copeland. Lake Landor has opened up a farmer's market on the western side of the county. That was a huge success. They had about 10 vendors selling lots of different local products, so went extremely well. So I want to thank her for organizing that for the citizens of the western part of the western part of Caroline. Also, on Saturday, had an opportunity to go to the dog park opening and dedication at the animal shelter. Another huge success. Thank you to the citizens who were involved, Mr. Whiteman, Sheriff's Office, and all the people that were involved. That was quite a ceremony, and it was good to see that. I guess they had, Mr. Whiteman said they had 13, was that correct? 13 dogs that were adopted. So that was a huge success. And finally, I want to thank the Sheriff's Department. On Saturday night, I had an opportunity to do something that I really truly believe that every citizen in Caroline should take advantage of. Here in Caroline, we have an opportunity to do a ride-along program where you get to ride along with the Sheriff's Office or the fire department, the rescue. And it was entertaining. So you kind of get to see what these gentlemen who we pay, what they do for us on a daily basis. So thank you guys, and it was, I mean, I plan to do it at least once a year, so thank you.
Mr. Seeley?
I'd just like to say what a great time there was at the dog park on Saturday. Even though in a downpour they had probably 150 people, and I have to say I think that was a huge success, and it's a wonderful addition for the animal shelter.
Mr. Underwood?
None at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Akers?
No, sir.
Mr. Taylor?
No, sir.
All right, I too have a few. As Mr. Black and Mr. Seeley mentioned, we attended the Ken Harris dedication at the animal shelter, and I think it was great to have a tribute to somebody who served so long for the county. The other thing is we got an email about the closing of the dental program by the Rappahannock Health District. And I know this is something that Mr. Akers and I are particular about because it helped us win the All-America City program. I've asked Mr. Cully to figure out how much it costs, what kind of investment we had, and the county had made some investments before. So we'll need to look at that. I believe the nurse, Mrs. Upshaw, thank you, is supposed to come in, and the dentist at 7:30. So we don't necessarily have the numbers now, but we'll at least get some more. And I think it may be something like $20,000 or $30,000 that it would cost us to keep it running.
Mr. Thomas, I have contacted Senator McDougal to ensure that we can keep the equipment that is currently here. My understanding is the health department has been instructed to sell that. He is working on us being able to retain that equipment. I've had several phone calls and some folks that come visit me also on that same topic. So I think that's the first thing is can we manage to retain that equipment, which we're working on.
We've got Mr. Cully working on that now.
Okay, so Senator McDougal has been notified. I sent him the letter. He was making phone calls yesterday.
So if we can keep that, and I know we as the county government put a lot of money into that program, and I hate to see it just go away. You know, if we're pro-life for everything for kids, and that's a big thing we need to take care of. One other thing is economic, tourism is starting a program with the schools that's this week. It's called the Name the Whale Contest that did get started. So, you know, there's a giant whale, dinosaur bones we've got at the visitor center. We're going to have a little fun with it. They're going to name the whale through the schools. I think it's K through 5. And thanks to the State Fair, they've given us prizes or passes to the State Fair as a prize. So it may be something we can tie in a little more tourism with, which I think will be really good. And the last thing is, don't forget to sign up for the Caroline Alert program that's on our website, because I've gotten a lot of notices the past few days about trees that are down, and it's really a big thing. So it's a great thing to have. It's free, doesn't cost anything. Great information. So that's it for board comments. We're going to move to presentations, which will be Mr. Curlings from the Wounded Warriors, then Mrs. Brooks, and then Mr. Land from Baco. Mr. Curlings, as always, good to see you, sir. Well, you don't, sir, Sergeant. Good to see you, Sergeant.
That's right. I've always worked for a living. I want to thank the board again for this year, a most wonderful, successful fishing program. This year we wound up getting the maximum. We had 26 Wounded Warriors sign up, and we had 20 actually come to the program. You have to understand, on any given day, they wake up, they may not feel like going out, they may not feel like talking, they may not feel like doing anything but staying in bed. But they look forward to this now. The program has a life of its own. I just walk around, take bows, and take the credit for a program that started 16 months ago. Now it is truly the Caroline County Wounded Warrior Bass Fishing Program. However, you gave me a title, and I want to remind you of this title. I was just asking for the fishing program. You said, no, I would be the Caroline County Wounded Warrior Program Coordinator. Therefore, I'm before you again. You'll see that there is a poster that's been put up in certain places. It is a yearly poster now. In fact, I just got another check that came in today for $300 to go to the Wounded Warrior Program. I have talked to other American Legion and VFW posts on behalf of the Wounded Warriors. Region 1 is the region that Caroline County belongs to. Region 1 runs from, let's take it from King George County and work our way north. I'm so tired of doing it from north to south, so we'll go from south to north. It goes from King George County, Spotsylvania County, Stafford County, Orange County, and Culpeper, the city and the county, and Fredericksburg, and of course us, Caroline County. The money we raise by putting on a donated check, Region 1, will stay in this region, and programs will continue to be built out for this program, and that means education, that means job opportunities by giving them programs, which I am currently working with Union Bank to have a program where they come in and actually learn the banking business to prove that they're capable and maybe then actually get a job working in the bank. I also have started working with a hunt club here in Caroline County. I would like, with the permission of the board, to roll out a program, if all goes well, not this fall, but next fall, a hunting program for the wounded warriors in the county. And I'm also going, with the permission of the board, since I represent the county, to go to the Mattaponi Golf Course and ask them if we can set up a hole-in-one on one of the par threes. That program is that you donate or sign up for a $5 donation. If you get the closest to the hole or in the hole, you split the 50-50. The other 50% would go to the wounded warriors as a donation. The programs that we need for our veterans laying around and not being addressed are just enough to make you shake your head and scream. Today, it takes almost a year for a veteran to put forth his paperwork or her paperwork. By the way, this year we had our first female wounded warrior attend the program, and she was one of the winners, by the way, so she showed the guys how to fish. Anyway, as I was saying, they actually have a situation where it takes approximately a year to get the paperwork approved through the VA. And then it takes approximately another year before they ever get to see a doctor. It's disgusting, and when I'm around my fellow Legionnaires, we use stronger words than that. I've bought into the program. I am taking my time out of being an officer at the American Legion. My last year as commander is coming to an end. I will never sit in the commander's chair again. However, next year I will be the District 12 commander. I will never sit in that chair again. I have paid the money. I've gone through the training. I am now a service officer. I work with all veterans, not just Legionnaires, not just VFW members. Any service veteran who served honorably, who would like to come to me for assistance in helping them get their paperwork through the VA, that is my job now. I will stay dedicated to Caroline County veterans as long as I'm physically able. I appreciate the opportunity to address the board, thank the board for what they have done, but ask the board that was just the first step. We have more steps to go. Therefore, I'm asking you to approve that poster so I can keep it up on a yearly basis. I'm asking you for permission to go forward and see if I can build a program for the fall like we have in the spring. The spring program will go on as long as there's a need and a desire. By the way, the veterans have asked not to end the fishing at 12:30. They want to make it an all-day program. And the volunteers that are working it, the owners of the property, sweethearts that own the Mount Olympic Farm, have all but said, yes, we'll do it. So I'm looking to roll the program out next year for a full day of fishing. And instead of a luncheon, we'll have a dinner. And lastly, to go before the Mattaponi Golf Course, representing the county again and asking them for permission to start a hole-in-one contest as part of their yearly golf contest. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm looking for answers for. I'll now leave it up to you gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Curlings. I don't think we're going to disagree with you at all. So you want the poster, you want to do the fall hunting program, and you want to do the golf 50-50 at Mattaponi and Pendleton and Four Winds, all the golf courses in the county?
Every place I can get my foot in the door, sir.
Well, we're just giving you a couple of more places to stick your foot. That probably didn't sound right at all. All right, so I don't think there's any problem with the board, with Mr. Curlings moving forward. If we hear none, if you don't, it's easier to ask forgiveness than ask for permission. But you've got permission, so
Thank you.
go right ahead.
I appreciate that. And the Admiral, young lady that she was, I did meet her, and that's where the words came from that you just quoted. And I will follow in the Admiral's footsteps, even though I was Air Force, and I'm on my way. Thank you, gentlemen, for your permission.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Brooke, oh, yes, sir.
Pictures I left. You make sure the press gets it.
We have them. Do you mind if we put these on our website?
No, he's got 200 of them.
You took pictures? CD? Okay, if you got a CD, get it to us, and we'll get it to Cassie, and we'll put it on the website.
I can provide those same pictures. I'd like her to take a look.
if he's got copies, we'll give these to the press, and they can go from there.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Brooks, as you make your way up, you're still in the Bowling Green district, right? You still live in the Bowling Green district, right? Okay. Pass this to Mr. Seeley. And when you have I'll give you the opportunity. Mrs. Brooks is here to introduce us to the new librarian.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Mr. Cully, good evening. I think everybody knows that I'm going to be retiring June 30th. I'm looking forward to it. It's been a long road, 33 years in fact. But it's always been my goal to provide the county with a go-to place for information, programs, and services. And I feel I've done that, but now it's time to let somebody else take the helm. And I truly feel that I'm leaving the library in good hands. The library board has officially approved the hiring of Maureen Dorsinski as my replacement, and she has graciously accepted. She comes to us from Safety Harbor Public Library in Florida and currently resides in Port Royal. Her first day will be July 1. So I wanted to take this opportunity to officially introduce all of y'all to Maureen Dorsinski. So, Maureen, I think she wants to say it.
Sure.
Hello. Good
Hello.
evening.
Good evening.
I would just like to say briefly that I'm very honored that the board and Kay has trusted me to continue on with the legacy that she has created. And there would not be the wonderful library system that exists now without the dedication and hard work of Kay and the entire library staff and the library board. With my journalism degree, I bring the ability to see many sides of any situation. My theater training has taught me empathy, and of course my library master's degree has given me the tools to help build a library that's beyond the 4 brick and mortar walls and is truly a globally connected community. So I hope with your support and the help of the board and the staff that I can make that come true. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies, before you leave, 2 quick things. One, Mrs. Dorsinski, just so you'll know, that during Kay's time here, she used to actually take her salary and buy books. Just wanted to give you a little perspective there. Not saying you have to do that. I'm not saying you have to do that. That's what she did. And then I've got one, Mr. Seeley, you can go ahead and read what I just gave you.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. This is a resolution of appreciation for Kay Brooks for her dedicated service to Caroline County, whereas Mrs. Kay D. Brooks has announced her retirement as the library director on 30 June 2013 after more than 30 years of service to Caroline County, and whereas during her tenure, the library has grown tremendously from the opening of the inaugural Bowling Green branch in 1981, 2 branches in Dawn in 1985 and Ladysmith in 1993, in Port Royal in 1999, and the new state-of-the-art expanded branches in Bowling Green in 1998, in Ladysmith in 2006, and again Dawn in 2011 with the new library. Whereas in these years, the library has constantly evolved to keep pace with technology, improve the quality of life, and provide critical needs and services to county citizens. And whereas Mrs. Brooks has been a constant at the center of the library's impressive achievements, and during her leadership, dedication, tireless enthusiasm, and can-do attitude have made her name synonymous with the Caroline County Library. And whereas her impact on Caroline County exceeds well beyond the service to the library and includes dedicated service to organizations such as Caroline's Promise, the Rotary Club, and the willingness to devote her energies to any effort to make Caroline County a better place. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Caroline County Board of Supervisors hereby extends its heartfelt appreciation to Kay Brooks for her long and faithful service to Caroline County and its citizens, and wishes her a retirement filled with health and happiness. Adopted this 11th day of June 2013.
Motion to fully adopt the resolution, please. Mr. Seeley.
I make the motion we adopt the resolution.
Second. seconded by Mr. Akers. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Of course, that carries unanimously. Mrs. Brooks, congratulations to you and thank you. And if you would, I hate to ask, but could you come up here for a second? Okay. And I'll come get you. Maureen. Okay, sorry. Excuse me for first name basis. Would you come too? Because we're all going to do a board picture with everybody. We're only going to take one step forward, Mark, because we're not going to stress anybody, okay? The rest of the board want to come over here and we'll fill in. I guess we'll do Jeff. You stay there. You'll stand here next to her. I'll stand there. Will that work? Is that good? Okay. Thank you.
You're getting better at this, Floyd.
Yeah, I'll try. Don't fall. Relax.
That's what we're used to.
Thank you, lady. Okay. I'm sure the board wants to say thank you again. One. Scully, could I ask you for the downhill? Just in case I don't. Mr. Land, are you ready? Mark, you done? That's it? You don't want to take pictures of Larry and the guys from Vaco? Never mind. Okay. Thank you.
I'm not sure what that was about, Mr. Chairman, but thank you
I just
for the
figured you'd like to
introduction.
take pictures, wherever you come. Good to see you, Larry, as always.
Thank you very much for having me, Mr. Thomas, members of the board. My name is Larry Land from Virginia Association of Counties. I'm very pleased to be here tonight. I'll be as brief as I possibly can be. These visits are part of what we do. It's very important to me personally to visit as many board meetings as I can and I'm here mostly to sit in the audience and listen and learn, which I really do enjoy doing because by doing that, we at Virginia Association of Counties learn more about you by listening to the discussions that you have, by listening to the comments of your citizens. I hope that it makes us better able to serve you as we represent you in the General Assembly and before state agencies. For those in your audience who may not be familiar with the Virginia Association of Counties, of which you are a member, and very happy to have you as a member, we are a statewide organization. We have been in business since 1934. Our basic services are advocacy on behalf of counties to the General Assembly and also to state agencies. We have a series of educational programs and certain enterprise programs that I hope that you are benefiting from. Our mission statement is this: VACO exists to support county officials and to effectively represent, promote, and protect the interest of counties to better serve the people of Virginia. And before I go further, I should recognize Mr. Akers, of course, who served as a president of Virginia Association of Counties back, I believe it was 7 or 8 years ago. I think it was right around 2004, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, many of you have participated very actively with VACO, and we're very happy to have you do this. Just want to make a few announcements which we want you to be aware of. I hope you are aware that on August 16th we will be holding our summer meeting. That is when all 8 of VACO's policy committees will be meeting. I know it seems like we just got done with the 2013 General Assembly. It is never too early to start preparing for the next session of the General Assembly in 2014. We will have some very, very serious issues to consider, positions to consider as we move forward in working with the General Assembly in 2014. I think many of you who are sitting here are members of our steering committees, and we look forward to seeing you there. In addition to the steering committee meetings, we also plan to have a few educational programs and workshops on that day. I hope that there'll be more information coming on that. I hope that you'll be able to take advantage of that. I hope that you have also benefited from receiving our publications, County Connections, our semi-monthly newsletter. Of course, during the General Assembly, we have Capital Contact, and that is to keep you as aware as we can in real time of what the major issues are that the General Assembly is considering that will affect you. And that way we can only be as effective as the communications that you make both to us and members of the General Assembly about your concerns regarding certain issues that we'll be facing. So just want to make you, just reiterate the significance of those communications that we try to promote. Of course, through the year, we do have a series of seminars. We have our annual conference coming up in November. The theme for this year's conference is Blazing New Trails, and we're working right now to develop the most informative program that we can for you. That's basically about all I have to say. Again, I'm here mostly to sit, listen, and learn, and I'll be here for a few hours, and look forward to hearing your discussions. I will try to answer any questions that you may have, and if I cannot answer them, of course, I'll be glad to go back to the office and refer them to someone who can. So thank you for having me tonight.
Thank you, Larry. Give us 1 second, and just in case there are any questions right now. Ms. Underwood?
Mr. Land, thank you for being here. I know that every year there's discussion about members of the board attending the conference. And I'd just like for you to discuss briefly why is it important to attend the annual conference for a board member?
There are several reasons for it. Number one, VACO's annual conference does provide a very, very valuable opportunity for the association to identify the interests that are of common concern to all 95 counties across the state. We feel that we do this best when counties are all in one place to hear and interact with representatives from state government, to pose questions to representatives of state government and the General Assembly about issues that are of concern to you. The second very important reason why we think it's important for county officials to meet is because it gives them a chance to interact, to talk with each other about the kinds of issues that they are facing. It is very important that they have an opportunity to learn from each other. It is an opportunity for the Virginia Association of Counties to showcase certain model programs that have been undertaken in certain counties that others may want to emulate. We view it as a very important educational opportunity, and the purposes that we have for holding the conference are really very serious.
Thank you. I have a couple. The venue for the conference is a very nice hotel, and is there any thought of maybe having a different venue, or is that pretty much a standing venue?
Yes, sir. There has been. We are at this time we're getting close to the end of our contract term with the Homestead, where we currently hold the conference, and analysis has been conducted, which compares the Homestead to other venues across the state. The Virginia Association of Counties did send out a request for proposals from other venues. After reviewing the proposals, comparing the cost on a daily basis that attendees of the conference would have to pay, I have to say that the Homestead really was in a very, very competitive position compared to the other venues. We received proposals from the City of Richmond, Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Roanoke. I believe our board of directors, the last time they met in May, did give the VACO staff a green light to hold negotiations with the Homestead, and that's basically the decision that was made. And that would be for conferences going to 2016 and beyond.
Because we hear it all the time. Every year it's a discussion about whether it's of value. We hear it all the time once the conference occurs, and I think it's important that it be discussed openly about what's discussed, how the venue is determined, and again, who should be attending these conferences and for what purposes.
Right.
And so I just appreciate your answer.
Sure. And the information that we have on this, we do have it available for anyone to look at in terms of the analysis that we did that compares the different venues for the conference.
I'd like to have that, Mr. Chairman, if we could get that to us.
Or is it possible you could send that to us?
I'm sorry.
Is it possible you could send us the comparison, the cost
Yes,
comparison?
certainly.
Okay, because it's a little easier. The hotel's $300 and something a night, but it does include 2 meals. It's kind of hard to compare that with going to Richmond for $200 a night and then buying 2 meals.
Right.
So if you could send that'd be great.
Yes, and what it does is it does break down that comparison, so it should be easy for you to see
Right.
what the comparisons are.
Perfect. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions?
No, thank you, sir. Appreciate
Black?
it. Mr. Lane.
Mr. Seeley? Ms. Akers?
Yeah, one of the things I think that, and when you get the analysis report, you need to consider is the fact that it is not only that you're paying for 2 meals, that you, including
You get 2
the
meals,
total
yeah.
price is 2 meals and the room, but VACO then has to pay for meeting rooms, they have to pay for the exhibit hall, and if you look at the analysis, there are some venues that have separated them out, and it shows maybe $3,000 a day for the exhibit hall and things of that nature. So you have to take it all into together to get a true comparison of what the room rates are. The board of directors, we did look at that, and there was a great lengthy discussion about that. And it was determined that the Homestead was in fact cheaper than a number of the venues that was offered, and certainly no higher than the rest of them. So it was just determined that was the best way to go and get everybody in one facility. One of the other things I would like to mention is the fact that VACO has offered to counties or to regions throughout the state, they will come in, they will conduct meetings, seminar type of things, and invite the state elected officials into these meetings. You should have received or should be receiving information on that because Chester Stribling and myself served VACO as Region 7 representatives, and we've set up whereas, and I don't recall whether it was July or the end of June, that meeting is to be held in Culpeper County Administration Office. And so I think if any board members can make that meeting, it would be a meeting well worth attending.
I believe, Mr. Chair, that
Sure.
will be on the 25th of this month, if
Oh,
I'm
this
not
month,
mistaken.
yeah, okay.
So, sure, we would love to see you there. We're going to be holding a regional meeting like that out in Tappahannock on Friday, and it does provide an opportunity for you to share with us what your major concerns are as we move forward to the next General Assembly. And also, it provides an opportunity for us to hear from you on ways that you think we can serve you better.
Mr. Taylor?
No, I don't have any.
Larry, I had one which is more process. I served for a long time on the Utilities and Telecommunications Committee, which got folded into general government, and I was trying to make that a technology committee. Is there any thought to having a technology committee as one of our subcommittees? Because that means a lot.
Mr. Thomas, what I'll have to do is report that concern when
Okay.
I
And
when I
I'd
go
just
back
like
to
you to
the
report it
office,
back.
but-
The last time I made that suggestion, I got appointed to the Telecommunications Committee. So I'm trying to be on a technology committee.
Okay.
Because I think that would be a great thing for us to share technology advances with, our neighbors and different folks around. That's how I learned last November about the radio system and broadband combination that somebody on the western side of the state did. So I think it's great. But,
I'll be very happy to communicate that concern when I return.
thank you. Mr. Underwood has another one.
Mr. Lamb, one more. As you poll the counties throughout the state, or throughout the Commonwealth, is it possible for you to give us some type of comparative analysis as to similar issues and issues that are common to our county itself? For other issues that are similar across counties, I'd like to see some type of comparative analysis as to what those issues are, what are the solutions, and ways of resolving.
Certainly, and Mr. Chairman, I'll
Sure.
just say we have several ways of doing that. One of them is through the regional meetings that we hold, that we keep a record of the issues that are raised with us. Also, I would expect that in the short-term future, all the counties will be receiving from us requests for proposals about issues of concern to them, and those will all be consolidated, and it should be placed in a format that will be readable to anyone who's interested in obtaining that information. We'll try to get that to you.
How often are you available to come back and discuss issues?
Anytime you want to have me.
Okay. I'd like to put him on the agenda maybe once every 6 months, or could discuss
Does that work with you?
before we
Sure.
start.
Once every 6 months, and at least before we go to the conference.
Before you go to the conference, to see what similarities and what issues are out there. Be it when we're all dealing with some of the same issues in terms of revenue and water and remember the same issues in small counties versus our larger counties.
Right.
So I'd like to see and discuss those issues that we have versus the issues that other counties have that may be larger, that don't have revenue stream issues that we have.
And I very much appreciate your interest in that. And if not me, I would think that we could have another staff member
I understand.
available to
I understand.
talk with you about these issues. We tend to concentrate in certain areas, and there may be one issue that one staff person may have a great deal more knowledge of than others.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of the way we organize.
Thank you, sir.
Just a comment. I've had the honor of serving on the Education Committee for a number of years, and I'm serving on that committee as of now. And a lot of the issues that involve schools and education and so forth, the positions that the localities take on certain issues, are talked about at the conference, and we actually come up with a plan to present to the General Assembly, or at least for VACO to present to the General Assembly on our behalf. And obviously, we are in Region 7, and at the Region 7 meeting, that's another opportunity for us to talk with other persons or other groups, localities in our region about different issues that we have and different things that we would like to see VACO support. So it's just a number of avenues to address issues that we have by going to the conference and being involved with the conference. So I just thought I would add that.
Thank you.
Mr. Land, as always, it's a pleasure seeing you. Thanks for your time and visiting us. Have a seat. We'll let you know what our issues are.
Okay, thank you.